energy goes to the brain and out through the nervous system, and gradually the body is formed. Now the seat of your ego is the medulla oblongata. All you need to do is think, where is your consciousness centered when you do things? When people's consciousness is strongly centered in the medulla oblongata, you have that expression, looking down your nose at people, because of the tension here. People whose energy is less strongly focused in the medulla, nevertheless, everything they do centers here. There are other things that are to be considered, which simplifies everything considerably. When you feel something, what do you feel? Well, you've never heard of a lovesick swain saying, I have a broken knee. Everybody in the world says, I have a broken heart. This is the center of feeling. And when a person's emotional, he puts his hand here. It's universal. It again does not depend on culture, religious beliefs, on anything. It's simply the truth. Now then, emotions are disturbed feelings, and those emotions can go down. And so you have a passageway in the spine. And when the energy in the spine goes down, it leads to unhappiness. And when the energy in the spine goes up, it leads to happiness. Here's a simple technique you can practice. It's in the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a famous scripture in India. It says, think of the heart as a lotus, and direct the petals of that lotus upward and toward the brain. If you do that, then you'll be able to feel bliss, begin to feel bliss. Now, the center of superconsciousness is here at the point between the eyebrows. It's not really on the bone in the forehead. It's in that part of the frontal lobe of the brain. But that's why when people are inspired, they automatically look up. Gee, I feel wonderful. They never say, I feel wonderful. It's universal. Now then, if you could concentrate here at the point between the eyebrows and direct your energy from that point forward to the point between the eyebrows, then you would change your center of consciousness. A master or an enlightened person feels his consciousness altogether centered here. And this is something I can say from my own experience. This is where my own consciousness is more centered. I don't say completely, but it's getting there. The more it's there, the more I say, Viva! Very good. Because you feel happiness that way. You feel bliss. Sometimes that bliss becomes so intense, you can hardly control it. But this is what people are really looking for. What is the goal of life? Well, no, it's not to become a pharmacist. It's not. Why would you want to be a pharmacist? Because you pay well. All right, so is money your goal? People who have too much money are unhappy. What was the name of that man? Richest man in the world? Howard Hughes. He was asked a week before he died, are you happy? No, I can't say I'm happy. Well, the tone of voice said it for him. You don't find happiness in money. You don't find happiness in sex. Look, I mean, many people think they will. And yet, my God, look at all the unhappy marriages. You get many a marriage is sort of a marriage really between a nice shade of lipstick and a pretty bow tie. And people, my guru used to say, so they get married and live happily ever after with rolling pins and black eyes. Sex is not the answer. You need something more. The more you can bring your energy up, the more, really, I'm here to say it. I know it's true. I have lived it, and I know this is where your happiness lies. So it isn't in things, it isn't in places, it isn't in travel. I've done it all. And I haven't found it in those things. But when I found this energy moving to here, you know what you feel among everything else? Well, I'll tell you about a dream that I had. It was in Florence, in Italy, just a couple of years ago. And it was interesting because the day before, I had had a meeting with our distributors. And they were very sympathetic with us and so on. But the head of the company said to me to start out with, he said, well, I have to tell you from the beginning, I'm not religious. I said, neither am I. I may be spiritual, but I'm not religious. I can't say I'm anti-religion, but I'm teetering on the edge. But that night I dreamed of many, many people, maybe hundreds. And some of them were very materialistic, some of them only somebody wanted nothing but money. Some of them were even mafioso types. And others were normal human beings. But I found, as in my dream, the one thing everybody wanted was bliss. You know, if you think about it, you'll find that this is the one thought in everybody's mind. Not bliss, because they don't know that bliss exists, but happiness. Everybody in the world is seeking to avoid pain and to find happiness. Isn't that true? It's certainly true. And if they could understand more deeply, they'd know that that happiness is only a masquerade for bliss. But the worst mafioso, he may think he'll find what he wants through revenge, through murder, through whatever it is. What he really wants is happiness. It's what I found from that dream was that it gave me a cause to really love everybody. Because they all want that bliss that they just don't know what they want. But that's what they really want. And why do they love bliss? You know, it's a very interesting thing. Buddha came onto the scene in India many years ago, and his purpose in life was to help people to understand that they had to make an effort. It wasn't enough to practice what they call in karma, or just finding good karma, good actions by propitiating the gods and so on. Yes, you can get something through that. It's not enough. He said, you have to make the effort. I remember one disciple of Yogananda's, he was scolding him for a quality he needed to develop. And the disciple said, well, sir, I know I want to change, but how can I change without your blessings? And Yogananda said, my blessings are there already. God's blessings are there. It's your blessings that are there. And this is the truth. We've got to do what we can. It's sort of, yes, everything goes by grace, but that grace is like sunlight pouring on the side of a window. And if the curtains of your room are closed, then you won't be able to receive that sunlight. You've got to make the effort to open yourself to that truth. That's what yoga is all about. That's what all spiritual practice should be all about. Sometimes they do other things altogether, not understanding what they're doing. But that's really what it's all about. Now, as we open ourselves to this, the more we find that there is this higher consciousness that I understood about, vaguely at least, back when I was 21. But we've got to overcome those resistances in ourselves. And what are they? Basically, it's all ego-oriented. I want to be more important. I want to be the one-up over that person. I want money for myself. I want to take, I don't want to give. And everything, if you will think in terms of the purpose of life being to overcome your ego, then you will think in terms of wanting to give more, not being important, not caring what other people think of you. If people insult you, try sincerely thanking them. I mean that. It may sound ridiculous, but after all, they're helping you to overcome your ego. Thank you very much. It's when people try to beat you down, don't be attached. I remember when I was 13, I was born in Romania. My parents were American, so I really I'm neither fish nor fowl. But anyway, when we came to this country, I was 13, and I went to school there, and I had a very English accent at the time. And this boy, who was 15, decided he didn't like me. I was an insult to the flag. I weighed 107 pounds. He weighed 230 pounds. A subtle difference. And he decided he was going to beat me up. Well, he came into my room and beat me up. There was nothing I could do. I didn't worry about it particularly. I just let him beat me up. And then put the pieces together and go on. I never felt resentful of him. In fact, I took it quite calmly, and I beat him. Yes, he beat my body, but I beat his spirit. From then on, he never wanted to come near me, because he didn't understand how I could possibly react in that way. But if you can learn not to react from that to things, be non-attached, be non-reactive, don't care what people think of you. Be much more concerned with what you think of them. Don't wait for other people. One time, many years ago, I went to Strasburg, Pennsylvania, which is really almost a suburb of New York City. And my hostess had asked me to sing some of my songs for them. And so I sang one song, and I thought, my goodness, if they don't like it, that's all right by me. But yet I had been asked by my hostess to sing my song. And so, having put it in the plural, I thought, well, let me at least sing one more. So I sang one more, same reaction. Then I suggest we all go to the buffet table. Stampede. Well, okay. I mean, if people don't like my song, it's fine. You can't expect everybody to like everything. But the next day, and this is the real payoff, I was with the main person of that group. He was taking me somewhere. And I just sort of casually asked him, how do you like my music? It's all right, I guess. In fact, I have a cassette of it, and I play it every day on my way to work. I couldn't believe my ears. I mean, he obviously loved it, but he couldn't bring himself to say it. Listen, when you like something, then be the first. Don't worry about what other people will think of you. Just say I liked it. Often in the streets, if I'll see somebody, male or female, of course I'm at an age where it's safer to compliment women, but I'll thank them if I see them wearing something nice, some nice color or something. I think we should show appreciation for one another. It's our egos that prevent us. We're afraid of what others will think of us. Don't worry about your ego. The more you can overcome that ego, the closer you will be to bliss. And that bliss is what you really want. It will never come to you as an ego thing. It'll never come to you by